For gosh sakes. What's going on? How do I get him to stop barking? I need some kibble and bits. It's much better. And now, what you've all been waiting for. The most epic, superbulous, fantabulous holiday special that you've ever seen in your whole life. Day 4.
Hi, welcome to the program. I'm Jax.
And I'm Sassy Jax.
And we're going to walk you through some greeting cards I created. First, I took out some pre-scored half-folded sheets of red, white, and green paper. Then I took out some holiday paper I've had in my stash, and I started trying to figure out what papers would go together. I also took out the mini cats and dogs and the mini bird crazy and things stamps along with their dies. I pulled out the stamps I thought I would be using and matched up their dies. I also pulled out my mini Misty and arranged the stamps on the plastic grid, stamped them up with my Momenta archival black ink because I knew I was going to be using my alcohol markers. I arranged them on the paper so that when it came to die cutting the pieces out, I wouldn't have too much trouble having room for the dies as they went through the die cutting machine. The great thing about the mini Misty is that you can place the stamps on the grid and they stay in one place so that you're able to stamp multiple times to get a really good defined line on the outside of your stamping. I did pull out multiple sheets of paper to make sure that I had enough cutouts for multiple cards. Some of these stamps you will not see in this video. At this point, I really wasn't sure what I was going to use. Unfortunately, when I was coloring these finished stamped sheets, my camera battery died and I was unable to get the footage so that you could see me coloring the pieces.
And that's just the way it goes. Hey, can you go let the dog out? Ooh, let the dogs out. Ooh, 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 ooh.
If you had a dog, what would the dog's name be?
I would call him Woofy. Woofy or Barky, because they woof and bark all the time. Or Cujo, whichever one works.
And once I was completed with that, I cleaned them off, and then I also took out some presents, candy canes, and a Santa hat to use as embellishments on the cards. As you can see here, another good thing about the Misty is that you can arrange the stamps all over the sheet of paper that you're using so that you don't waste paper. The candy cane was small enough so that I could arrange it a couple more times on the paper just so that I was utilizing every inch of that great paper, which is the Strathmore Bristol Smooth paper, which works really well for this kind of thing.
Oh, my feet are just dog tired. How do I get him to stop barking? For gosh sakes.
I used a round circle die on some paper that I cut to 4 by 5 1/4. Then I pulled out folded card bases in the emerald green, and their final size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I pulled out some holiday stickers that I had in my stash, and you can see here the finished die cut dog that I had colored with my alcohol markers. I took out my matte gel medium in my precision tip applicator bottle, and I glued the back of the dog and I placed it onto the card base. I also took out an alcohol marker in the emerald green color and created a shadow underneath the dog. I did this on 4 separate card bases, and I made sure to use the card base and the decorative paper base. Oh, I can't believe I did that to that dog. I flipped it over and it's all wonky now. Once I had the dogs glued down to the paper, in order to keep them level and straight, I brought out my acrylic stamp blocks and placed those over the pieces so that they would dry straight. I glued down the dogs in the position that they're in for all 4 card bases, and I made sure to use the decorative paper die cut circle as my guide on placement for the dog.
Do-wop, 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 do-wop. Boo, 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 boo.
I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but I decided I was going to use some foam tape to raise the decorative paper off of the card base so there is a slight dimensional effect when you're looking at the dog. What was difficult about this is just making sure that the foam tape got around the circle, but you couldn't necessarily see the tape as you were looking at it. I pulled off the backing from the foam tape and tried to line up the paper around the dog. Then I also took out the little Santa hat and and placed it kind of kitty wampus on the dog's head. Once I got the Santa hat on the dog, I pulled out my holiday stickers and I placed that in the center lower half of the card, and it says Happy Holidays.
Aw, it's so cute.
Then I pulled out my Nouveau crystal drops and some glossy accents, and I wanted to add some embellishments to the top of the card. So I placed glossy accents on the eyes and the nose to give it more of a wet look. Then I pulled out my Nouveau crystal drops in the onyx black and created some dashes around the circle of the card to give it a little bit more interest. This also ties in with the black sticker of the card because I felt like the black sticker kind of stood out a little bit, and by adding the black dots around the circle, I thought that it evened out the design a little bit more. Once I had the first card finished, I moved on to the next 3 in the same way.
Oh, it's so cute. Oh, I totally love this card. This is really good. This is really good. This is gonna make this holiday special more epic than anything you've ever seen before.
Well, thank you. I hope so. So do you think that this is the most epic thing they've ever seen?
Yeah, I totally do. And the dogs think so too. And that concludes the most epic. Enough already! I've heard you barking 100 times, and I'm so tired of it. You are not allowed in the house. You are not allowed to have any treats, and you have to go right to bed. Nobody's listening to me.
I'm sorry. I wish things were different for you.
Seriously? Where did you get these dogs?
They're not my dogs.
And whose dogs are they?
Possibly like your imagination? I don't hear any dogs. Do you? I think these dogs are so cute. I just love how adorable they are.
They're just so cute.
And I'm really happy that I was able to create them and share them with you. If you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing because I'd love to have you as a viewer. Until next time, love you guts. Bye!
How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the wiggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that he is for sale.